Bourque there, looks, comes in, goes to Lemieux, backdoor shot, oh my goodness! Oh, great falls of fire, do you believe the goal that Lemieux just scores?
He was the greatest player ever. He was so good. He was the best player I ever played against. He was the best player I played with.
Not someone who kind of shows his face too often, so when he does, it means a lot. And obviously to see him in the room there before, see him out there on the ice, the reception, and then the whole energy in the building, the whole atmosphere all night was amazing. Something that I look forward to getting back at on Saturday.
Things that he could do, I don't care what sport you're talking about, no athlete has done.
On this ice, greatness usually arrives slowly. Then Super Mario showed up and rewrote the first shift. One touch could turn a safe play into a breakaway. One look could freeze a defender in place. Super Mario was not just tall and skilled, he was calm under pressure and ruthless in space. Ask the legends who faced him for the first time. They will tell you how their plans collapsed, how the game felt smaller, and how a single mistake became a goal. Today, we follow their memories, moment by moment, and you will hear why even champions feared him. In 1987, Wayne Gretzky entered the Canada Cup thinking he had seen every way a game could tilt. Then he shared the ice with Super Mario and felt certainty. The first time defenders stepped up at the blue line, the line that marks the attacking zone, he did not force anything. He protected the puck with reach and balance, waited out the stick, and turned a crowded lane into open ice with one cut. Gretzky noticed how little time the defense had. From the bench, Gretzky watched defenders hesitate because one wrong step turned into a danger chance. If they backed in, he drifted closer until a shooting lane opened. As the tournament tightened, Gretzky leaned into a simple plan. If your teammate can finish from almost anywhere, you put the puck on his blade. Gretzky later said he pushed him to shoot more because his shot and scoring instinct were on another level. In that Canada Cup run, he produced 11 points in 9 games. The defining moment arrived in the deciding game of the final against the Soviet Union at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Gretzky pulled defenders toward him, threaded a pass through the gap, and Super Mario ended it in overtime. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss our other exciting videos, and help this video reach more hockey fans. Your support truly means a lot to us. Thank you very much. Ray Bourque once recalled that in October of 1984, Boston Garden was the worst place to give a rookie space. Bourque was already a leader on the blue line, and he expected the familiar rhythm, test the kid, lean on him, force a safe chip. He said the shock arrived on the first shift. Super Mario came at the blue line with the puck settled, eyes up, and no respect for the moment. Bourque stepped up to close the gap, and in the instant Bourque reached, the puck was gone, nudged past the stick and into open ice. The rush turned into a breakaway, one attacker alone against the goaltender, and 2 minutes and 59 seconds into the game, he beat Pete Peters with his first shot. Bourque remembered a feeling in his chest, the kind you get when you realize a matchup can expose you. It was not panic, it was recognition. If he could do that immediately, in that building, against that defender, then nobody was safe. Bourque said he admired the calm most. No wasted movement, no hurry, just balance and reach, like he had all day. Boston came back to win 4-3, and Bourque scored late. But Bourque's lessons stayed. The league had a new problem, and it wore a smile. Ron Hextall did not need a second meeting to understand the problem. The first time he faced Super Mario, the danger did not start on the shot. It started earlier, when a normal rush suddenly became a breakaway, meaning one attacker alone against the goaltender. Over 11 seasons against him, Hextall said he kept a mental book because he could not afford to guess. Some nights, those breakaways came a couple of times in a single game. On those rushes, he noticed a brutal choice. If you stayed honest, he could go high on the glove side, the upper corner on the catching hand. If you tried to protect that, he would pull the puck and deke you to the opposite side. He could also release the shot without a big wind-up, so the finish arrived before you could reset. What made the first meeting feel unfair was the width. He could take the puck to the right so wide, 10 or 12 feet, that a goalie had to slide an extra distance and still stay square. If you cheated early, he read it. If you waited, he forced you to move, then punish the move. That meant controlling rebounds, managing traffic, and staying calm when everyone expected a goal anyway. For Hextall, the lesson was simple. You do not stop him with one save. You survive him by refusing the first mistake. Scotty Bowman once explained that his first real memory of Super Mario did not begin in the National Hockey League. It began when he watched him as a 13-year-old. Bowman had seen elite prospects for decades, and he said this one stood apart immediately. The puck stayed on the stick as if it was attached. The head was always up. The stride looked controlled, not rushed, and the decisions were made before defenders could react. Bowman said he left that rink thinking he had just seen the best player he ever saw at that age. That is a powerful statement from a coach who built dynasties and evaluated greatness for a living. Years later, when opponents described the shock of a first shift, Bowman was not surprised. He had already seen the pattern. Size and skill were only the surface. What made him different was how early he understood spacing, patience, and the next play. By the time the league met him, he was not becoming a superstar. He was arriving as one. Ken Daneyko has told the story of facing Super Mario on December 31st, 1988, and the feeling he returns to is disbelief. You prepare for a great scorer by taking away one option. You force him wide. You angle the stick. You live with the low percentage shot. Then the puck drops, and he starts collecting goals like he is checking off a list. That night, he scored 5 times, and each goal came from a different kind of situation. First, at even strength, he beat coverage in open play. Next, on the power play. When the other team was down a skater because of a penalty, he found a lane and finished. Then he scored while short-handed, meaning his team was the one down a player, and he still turned defense into offense. After that came a penalty shot, one attacker alone against the goaltender after a foul, and he made the move look routine. Last, he scored into an empty net when the goalie left for an extra attacker. Daneyko described what the bench felt after each one. Not anger, not even confusion, more like a slow shock. It felt like the ice was tilting today, the kind that makes a veteran glance around as if the rules have changed. He said you could play the right gap and still lose it. You could get help and still be late. By the 4th goal, the fear was honest, because you knew the next mistake was coming and you knew who would punish it. For Daneyko, that was the first time it truly hit him. You were not facing one style, you were facing every style. When people describe the first time they faced him, the feeling is the same. It is not only difficult, it feels like the usual answers do not apply. Ron Hextall explained it with 3 simple problems. First, the reach. His stick and wingspan let him keep the puck outside your best checking range while still threatening the middle. You thought you had closed the lane, then he moved it 1 more foot and the lane opened again. Second, the strength. Even when you made contact, he could shield the puck with his body and keep his balance on his skates. The puck stayed with him, and your pressure became a wasted second. Third, the reading and the release. He read the play early, then shot without a long wind-up. A goaltender could be set and still be beaten. Then you hear a judgment from a true legend. Bobby Orr once said he did things Orr could not do. Orr also said he did more things than anyone Orr had ever seen. Orr was not talking about one highlight or one move. He was talking about the full package, size, touch, vision, and the ability to decide a game in a single moment. That is why, for the players who did face him, the first meeting became a memory they carried for life. In the Stanley Cup Final of 1992, Mike Keenan coached Chicago against Pittsburgh, and he understood the problem immediately. If Super Mario had space in the middle, the game could flip. If Chicago took penalties, Super Mario could turn the power play into a goal before the defense could set. After the opening game, Keenan tried to change the conversation. He suggested that Super Mario was being protected by officials, and he criticized the way Super Mario went down on plays. Keenan wanted the referees to watch closer, and he wanted Super Mario to feel attention, not freedom. Players hear that, and they know what it means. When a coach uses words instead of matchups, it is because the normal answers are failing. Chicago still tried the hockey answers. Stay above the puck. Keep a body between Super Mario and the slot, the scoring area in front of the net. Force him wide, then take away the passing lane. But Super Mario could wait a beat, cut back into space, and deliver a pass through traffic. Or he could shoot before the goaltender was set. Keenan did not invent the pressure. Super Mario created it. That is why the first meeting can push teams from tactics into frustration. All those first-time memories would still sound like exaggeration if the record did not back them up. Across 915 regular season games, he produced 1,723 points. That total came from 690 goals and 1,033 assists, a pace that belongs to the rarest class in hockey history. At his peak, he did not just lead the league, he bent it. In 1988 to 1989, he scored 199 points, a season that still sits among the greatest offensive years ever recorded. When the games mattered most, he rose again. Pittsburgh won the Stanley Cup in 1991 and 1992, and he captured the Conn Smythe Trophy both years as the most valuable player of the playoffs. Awards followed because the impact was obvious. He won the Hart Trophy 3 times as the league most valuable player and the Art Ross Trophy 6 times as the league scoring leader. When you connect those numbers to the stories, the fear makes sense. They were not reacting to hype, they were reacting to proof. That is why the first time never fades. With Super Mario, one shift could erase your plan, one touch could create a breakaway, and one quiet decision could become a goal. The legends did not fear a name. They feared what they saw in real time. Now it is your turn. What was the first game you remember watching him, and what impressed you most about him? Was it the reach, the patience, the finish, or the way he made the ice feel smaller?